interrupt your viewing to tell you that at the end of this video, I talk about the campervan company I use, the bookings and plans that I made, the events that I did, and I go through some recommendations that I have. So if that is something that interests you, please feel free to stick around to the end. You will get some advice if you're planning on having a trip to New Zealand anytime soon. I'll catch you then. Good morning. We're off to Milford Sound today. How exciting. Well, we're actually at the free camping spot right near Milford Sound. So we're gonna walk there. These darn sandflies are driving me nuts. Alright, yes, very excited.
Points of interest and hopefully helping you understand a bit better this wonderful landscape in which we find ourselves. And you chose a particularly
breakfast is served, and also a hot chocolate. Good morning. It is the 7th of January and we are headed to the helicopter and hike on Fox Glacier, which is not something we actually planned on doing. It was a bit of a last minute thingy, bit of a spontaneous thing if you will, but I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm a bit nervous, as I have been with everything, but excited. This is crazy. Oh.
Hey, that's cool.
Oh, that feels really nice.
If you want, there's a little piece of ice.
Yeah, get right in there.
Hey!
Tastes cold.
Freezing cold. Hello. Alright. This is so cool.
Oh, it's so wet.
Is it like... Oh my god, it is wet. What the heck? How am I meant to do this? Oh, there's a spider!
Yeah, see, I mean, it's so weird. I don't know why it's here. I don't know how it got here.
It's so random.
Now you gotta get
Oh,
out.
I'm just waiting my sock.
We're just going straight for it.
It smells chilly. Over and out. Okay, let's go. Hey, it's so many. Hello. What on earth feast is he cooking up? Oh, that looks cool. What the heck? Watch this space.
Yes.
I'm taking a video of this for later because they're so yummy. Wait, is this for me or is this for you?
I feel like that one's not as good. This one has more cheese.
Oh. Wow. And all without Christian. Well done. Say that one again.
Pretty big, but that's it bigger. That's okay.
Hey, oh my god. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed all the New Zealand videos. I had such an amazing time. There were definitely moments of growth and absolute terror, especially when we were jumping off I've never been so scared in my life as when I was walking up to that bungee jump ledge. But you know, with a holiday comes with a lot of planning. So this video is going to be a lot shorter than the other one. So I thought I would finish it off with just a little bit of an explanation of the planning that I did to make this all work. Normally when I plan holidays, I'm pretty meticulous with my planning, and I like a Canva itinerary, and I like to make sure that it's all really methodically laid out. This time wasn't quite that. It was a list, some things booked, a camper van, and then we tried to keep it a little bit more flexible this time, which I struggled with at the start, but towards the end and with the experience of going through the motions, I think it is the absolute best way to do a camper van in New Zealand. And I've got my notebook here, and I wrote down some notes that I thought might be helpful. So if you're planning a trip to New Zealand and you need some tips, I've got so many, so let me know if you want more. These are kind of the ones that I thought would be most important for you to know. So enjoy. The first one is the camper van. Now I used what's called Rat Pack Travel to book the camper van. This is basically like, if you live in Australia, Flight Centre for camper vans. I think I originally was kind of researching myself, and I found a few ones that I liked. I went on YouTube and looked up people who had been to New Zealand, where they went and what they did and what van they used. So I then had a little list of ones that I liked, and then I went into booking them, and I was I don't know, I think something in me was maybe I should try doing it a different way. And then I was advertised, I think it was on Instagram or something, Rat Pack Travel, and I didn't know whether it was a paid service or a free service. It's free. They have a bunch of van companies that they are partners with, and then they do, I'm assuming they do commission based on that. I don't actually know. Anyway, I called them up. I was like, hi, we're a couple, we don't need too much space, but we would like to be a little bit more comfortable, preferably on the budget side. I gave them the list of the ones that I did like, and I said my priorities are safety, reasonable amenities. I didn't need a shower or anything. And in terms of the service, Rat Pack were amazing. They were so good. They negotiated the price for us within I think I called them before I started school. On, I think it was a student free day or something. I called them and I was like, this is what we'd like, and they recommended Big Little Campers, and then they called me back at lunchtime, and then I had another chat with them, and then they, by the end of the day, had secured the van for the dates we wanted. They negotiated the price down, and they had also got everything ready, booked the dates, and I had paid the deposit by the end of the day. It was amazing. I could not recommend Rat Pack enough. We ended up paying $4,500, which was so much cheaper than any other price I'd seen for that time. When you hire a camper van in summer, it is insane. I would recommend booking the camper van and the events really early on, because they get really, really expensive really quickly. Anyway, they recommended to us Big Little Campers, and they're a slightly bigger business. They've got 30 or so vans in circulation. They have 3 sizes: the little one, the big one, and then the biggest one. We got the middle of the road. We got the big one. The van was amazing. The amenities were amazing. The storage was really good because I packed quite a big suitcase, so I was a bit worried that we wouldn't fit everything in. You know, as far as vans go in terms of convenience, it was pretty good. I was really, really happy with everything in terms of the actual van. I couldn't recommend them enough too. They were so communicative. They were really good with the pickup times and the pickup dates, and they offer a shuttle service to and from the airport, which we didn't take because we stayed the night before. They have like a QR code and you can call them at any time if you need help or roadside assistance, and it all comes with insurance and everything, so we didn't have to do any of that ourselves. The only thing I would say was the bonnet on the van was like literally this wide, and it kind of occurred to me a few times when we were driving that my knees were very close to the front, and if I got in a head on or if I hit anything, then it would be, I don't know, it scared me a little bit. The van drove really easily. It was a really easy drive. It was automatic, but I am an experienced country driver, so I would say that definitely helped, because there are obviously a lot of windy roads, and where I used to live there were also a lot of windy roads, so that was helpful. But it didn't take me long to work out how to drive the van. I had like 2 drives and then I felt super comfortable. Yeah, and it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. I think if I was to do that again, I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely use Big Little Campers again. Moving on, in terms of planning, generally speaking, we used a Google Doc, which is what I normally use if I plan with Amy, so that way we can both look at it and both plan together if we need to. I find, especially if you're going with a friend, that you don't, you know, buy for each other all the time. With a partner, it's a bit different because you don't really keep tabs on money as much. It's really important for us to have a little table that has our names at the top and all the things that we paid for over the trip. So before you go, like, put in all the bookings and how much they cost, even the tiny little spendings, because they really do add up. What we often find is there's like a $100 to $200 difference between the two of us, one way or the other. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it does add up over time. If someone's consistently spending more, you're ending up paying $500 more, and it feels a bit awkward doing it first, but we kind of, you know, push through that. You're allowed to make sure that the pay is even. I also always have a little table that kind of has the itinerary, but we did a very basic version this time. You'll see on the screen that it has the date, the day of the week, so that I don't forget that, because it's very easy to forget that, especially when you're planning months and months and months in advance. On the other side, we just had like a list of options of things we could do because we wanted to be a bit more flexible. We went for a list basically of options, and that worked really well. We kind of every morning went on the Google Doc on our phones and went, oh, what do we want to do today? And then we kind of mapped it out ourselves. I made sure that all the items on the list were kind of on the way to the next place, or if it was a little bit off course, I just make sure that I made a note of that. Otherwise, I might pick something and then it might end up taking way too long. In terms of the pacing and the spacing of spots that we used, the first half of the trip was excellent. The second half was a little bit rushed. If I was to do it again, I would either go to Dunedin straight away, or we would spend a bit more time, not just at Fox Glacier, we would spend a bit more time at Franz Josef. We literally just drove straight through it because we had no time. And then in terms of hotels, I wasn't sure how I was going to go in a van, so I booked a hotel for the first night. I booked one hotel in Queenstown. It was bang on the halfway point in our trip, and then I booked another hotel on the last day and just had a night to rot in the hotel before we went home, and I think that was a really good move. I think we did that really well. If you cope fine with camper vans and you've been in one before, I don't think that that's necessary. I just wasn't sure how I would go, and sometimes I get really homesick, so I think that was a really good move. And now the activities. So the activities we did, I'll list them here: the AJ Hackett bungee, the shotover jet, the onsen spa, the zipline, the Fox Glacier helicopter ride and trek. Those were the main 5 things that we did. We went with the name brand shotover jet. You can get different branded ones, and I was considering them because they are significantly cheaper. Booking a ticket with shotover jet is worth the money, just because there's this area called Shotover, and only Shotover Jet have access to that water. I know that the drivers on Shotover are pretty notorious for how much training they do. They are the originals. They are the New Zealand owned company. I would say it's worth the extra 100 or whatever. After the Shotover Jet on New Year's Day, we went and did the AJ Hackett bungee, which again, you can do other bungee jumps with other companies. We went with the original name brand one again because I thought, I don't know, it's a once in a lifetime. I can spend a pretty penny penny on something like that. We did the biggest bungee jump. There are 3 different ones. 2 of them are a bit smaller, but we went for the biggest one, which is about 134 meters. And the views weren't as nice as some of the ones that like jump over the bridge and stuff. What we wanted from that was experience in the bungee jump. Not to be biased, but I think we made the right choice on that. I think I was really happy that we did the really big one. You get, I think it's 8 seconds of free fall. If you're tossing up whether to bungee jump, that idea makes you churn in your stomach. I could not recommend it more. I'm not necessarily scared of heights. Everyone's scared of falling. You go from being so unbelievably scared to feeling like you're flying and having the most amazing experience. It is so safe. The way that they take care of you the whole way from like the bus going up, they had videos playing explaining how it all worked and how safe it was, and then they take you over to where you jump from and there's music playing. It was just an amazing experience. I would go back and do it again and again and again. When I get nervous, I talk to people a lot, and I was talking to the workers a lot about how many times have you jumped, and they would say like 100 times. One of them said, I have jumped off this bridge or jumped off this ledge 60 times. I still get so scared every single time. It doesn't go away. Your fear of falling doesn't go away, but the feeling of jumping is the most amazing thing. Amazing that happens on the other side of fear. It's something that everyone should experience at some point in their life. That's all. The zip line, I can't remember who I booked this with, but there are a ton of different zipline companies. The service was amazing. They did a great job. You can hear it in the video. They're so nice and so enthusiastic about their jobs. After doing a bungee jump and the shotover jet was probably a little bit lackluster. It was still amazing, but I kind of wish I did that first, but that's not the zipline's fault. It's just the fact that we did a bungee jump before the zipline. I also booked the onsen hot pool, a good one. My biggest thing with that is it books out really, really far in advance. I'm talking like, I think they open the bookings up 4 to 5 months in advance, and they go really quickly. So my recommendation is book as early as you can. I was refreshing in about August for a January booking. They were expensive, upwards of $100 for like a 60-minute session, but I think, I don't know, when in Rome, hey? The last and I think the most expensive thing we did was the helicopter ride to Fox Glacier, which you saw in this video. We hiked Fox Glacier and then helicoptered back, and I think it was about $700, which is very expensive. It was so good. One of the best parts of the trip. And it's you know, it's always those bits on the holidays that you don't think are gonna happen or they surprise you. I'd never been in a helicopter before. The guides are super experienced and super knowledgeable, and they just seem to really know their stuff, and they're really good at it. We saw so many landslides. It was so cool. Like, you could be any skill level. I was really worried because it was quite a steep hill. I was really worried that I wouldn't be fit enough to do it, but it was so good. Absolutely loved it. It was amazing. My biggest piece of advice when going to New Zealand is don't be scared to do those things, and just, or if like, it's okay to be scared, but do them anyway, because you just don't know what's on the other side of the fear. Thank you so much for watching all of these videos. I hope that that was somewhat helpful for you at the end. I know that when I'm trying to plan a trip, I find that making bookings like that is tricky, and you have to do a lot of research. And I also, you know, I go on a lot of these trips, and I am a pretty meticulous planner. So if you want any more of these tips or anything like that, let me know. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.